Hello again, it is Miss Welsh, and we are now coming down to the home stretch of our pattern drawings, which are really super duper cool. Now, if we were doing the fish, we took the watercolor markers and we added some color, not a whole bunch of color, just some color. Now, if you were doing the clothing, we did the same thing. We added our patterns, we added some color. Now, if you look very carefully at the green, that green is oil pastel. Now remember, friends, that oil and water do not mix, so if we make a mistake, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to stay on our clothing, which is going to look really, really cool. Now, I do need to tell you this. We've got brand new, spanking new watercolor sets. Look how nice and pretty these are. They are brand new, they are fresh, they are great, they are wonderful. We are not mixing colors. All the colors are already there for us. You don't have to think about this. So, anytime you want to switch colors, you must rinse out your brush. Okay, so that being said, let's get started, okay? Whenever we use any colors, we always start with our lightest colors, and our lightest colors on our watercolor palette is the yellow. But some of you may be asking, okay, what if I don't want to add any color? I just want the colors that are already on my clothing to be there. Well, see, here's the thing. Remember they were watercolor markers? Look at this. The color is now spreading around. Now, if you're going to do this, I need to tell you right now, do all the same color at the same time. Do you see how easy this is working? This is so super easy. I don't have to worry about anything. It looks great. It looks wonderful. Okay, the only thing I need to worry about is making sure your name is already on there so that I can put it up on the walls, because you know, and I know, we all want to see your work on the walls. Okay, see how great this is looking? Look how nice it's turning out, okay? So now I'm going to switch to doing this red color, and oh, look at how pretty it's turning out. Okay, and it's just adding so much variety to it. And look, this is turning, your stripes are going away, which is fine, okay? But look how I'm spreading that out. And I did not even have to use any of these watercolor pans unless I wanted to. Okay, now this is a maroonish color, so it's spreading around, okay? All right, and I did this in kind of glumpy over here because I didn't want to like a whole bunch of it. Now, if you are not very careful at this stage, okay, for spreading your color around, if you pick up and you don't move it correctly, your water will slide around on the tray one here, and then it's going to look spilly and kind of oozy. But so sorry if you want that effect, okay? So for my friends who are doing the fish, it's going to have kind of sort of the same thing, okay? You can go through and you can just blend it like this, or, okay, you can use two colors. So let's see, I want to use some brown, and I'm going to put some brown here and there, okay? And I'm going to make sure I rinse my brush out, and then I'm going to start spreading it around like this. So that's going to look really super duper lemon scooper cool, okay? Remember, not too much water, because if you add too much water, okay, it's going to put a hole in your paper. You don't want a hole in your paper, okay? And I'm just using the brush, dip it back in the water, get some of that paint that's already on there, and move it around. It's making it really, really pretty cool effect. Blah, 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 blah. So if you start to feel like the paper is getting kind of weak and thin and your brush is catching on it, you got too much water there, my friend. Stop. Do not go any further. Do not collect $3,000. Stop what you're doing, okay? So it's already starting to get that really, really cool effect. Remember, when you want to switch colors, rinse, 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 and go back in for another color. So now I'm going to come through and do my seaweed. Okay, I'm going to add some more to that. Okay, I did not have to make any colors. I'm just using what's already made up for me. Blend, 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 blend. Make it pretty, 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 pretty. Okay, this one though, I do want this one to be a little darker. Okay, if you did this correctly and you used your the Product Black Magic markers, the Sharpies, you'll still see your stuff underneath, okay? But if you used a regular marker, it's just going to bleed. Okay, so it does look really, really tight, really, really cool. I'm now going to take some blue and do my background. Now, I've got to be really careful because I don't want you doing the fish. Leave the fish alone. That is going to be our pride and joy, our star of the show. And I just put some blue down, and then I'm kind of like just moving it around a little bit here, a little bit there to get that kind of underwatery effect. Okay, so it's kind of important that you do this really, really loose, but slow your roll when you start to get closer and closer and closer to the fishy. Okay, you could also just take the water and put it down, and then come back with some water that has some paint in it, like this. Okay, now remember what I said. If you pick up your paper, you want to keep this fairly level because unlike oil paints and acrylic and tempera, sometimes, not all the time with tempera, sometimes with tempera, okay? If you pick it up, everything's going to slosh to one side, because water goes, with gravity, right? It's going to go down towards the bottom of your paper. Okay, so almost done here. So do you see how quickly this is going? Okay, this is going super duper quick. If you accidentally get some on top of your seaweed, do not worry too much about it because guess what? We are underwater and it's going to have an underwater effect. So this is going to look really, really cool. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do, guys. All right, so do. Okay, and then come back here. Get some in there. There we go. All right, okay. Ta-da! And I'm got to come back and just do a few things here and there. So I got my coral bunches over here. Make sure you rinse. Put some orange one on the shell to make it look fun. And I am done. Now look how amazing that looks. And when it dries, it's going to look even more amazing. But you see how now the fish really pops? Okay, now that's called contrast and it looks really, really good. Okay, so when you're done with the watercolors, make sure you rinse out your brush really good. You put that back and you close it up for me. So it looks awesome because you're awesome. Thank you so much. You have a great